everyone, my name is Sara Vertanen, the symphonic metal flutist, and welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to do a quick video about how I mic my flute for loud live performances. I've looked on YouTube and I didn't really see anything that would be of any help, or not any help when I was looking on how to do this. So when I was getting all of my gear set up, because I'm going to be performing at the Edition Financial Arena next month to premiere my very first all-original single. So more details on that will be in the links down below. So it'll be released very, very soon. But just wanted to talk about how I mic my flute for a live performance in a really big venue. So the most important thing is the Sennheiser XS Wireless 2, and I attach it onto my flute like this. So the best part about this microphone is it's very small, it's not too visually distracting when you're playing, and projection and acoustics and clarity. Most importantly is clarity for a flute. And I've seen a lot of other microphones that either attach onto the barrel and then loop around or screw into the head joint. That doesn't sound good for me. Because a lot of times when I'm playing the flute, I'm going to be headbanging in between on the breaks, so I need something that's not going to get stuck in this hair. And it's really just compact, out of the way, but really has a lot of power and a lot of projection. So I'm going to link all of the products that I'm talking about here in the description. And the second most important piece of equipment is the Shure PSM 300 in-ear monitor system. Because this microphone is an omnidirectional lavalier microphone, it's going to pick up any sound around you. Specifically, feedback from powered amplifiers like a PA system or stage wedges. So you can't really use stage wedges when you're using an omnidirectional lavalier microphone. So if you're in like a band setting, you're gonna need everyone to be wearing in-ear monitors so that it's not being picked up by the microphone. So I picked the Shure PSM 300 specifically based on price. Because the in-ear monitors do run you a lot of money. I think this one is around $600 US, I think. Maybe more. Well, I'll correct it if that's not the case. But it is one of the more affordable in-ear monitors that still have good quality. So these two are my main pieces of equipment. Now I have this rack mounted here, which is a little bit bigger because I usually keep a mixer right here for in case I'm going to a venue that doesn't have speakers for their monitors on the stage, or if it's a smaller gig, like if it's an outside thing and I'm just gonna plug into it and I do the mixing. So I have that option for that, and I also have a PA system in my studio where I just keep the mixer right here. But you can get a smaller Gator case. This is called Gator Rack System. You can get a smaller one that fits everything. But going in order of how I have this all hooked up, so we get the microphone, and it's going to be going into a guitar pedal. This is called a noise gate. This is the Decimator 2 noise gate pedal, and I use that to kind of get rid of all of the noise, extra noise. So if you hear any wind noise, any brushing, if this starts hitting anything, or just any small noise that's going to really amplify a lot when you're in a big venue. So I'm going to take the output from this Decimator noise gate pedal, and that's going to go right to the house soundboard. The house soundboard will then plug into the in-ear monitors so that they'll be doing the mixing for you as far as what do you want to hear. You want more view, more backing track, however you want it. I know some people would rather have their own mix, like they do their own mixing on what they want to hear, but for me it's less stress if they just take care of it for me. Now, the next thing in this rack system is the Furman power strip I have. Because each of these require power, just plug in. I'd rather have one plug for the whole entire system rather than needing to have 4 or 5, or carry my own power strip essentially. So it's just a power strip. It has a front outlet as well that I usually hook up with like my iPhone if it's needing to be charged. It's just convenient. So the Furman power strip is going to have all the plugs for all of these plugged into the back, so it's nice, clean, one plug. You just plug it into the stage outlet and flip it on. It's also a surge protector, which is helpful. Now that you have the whole cab system in place, attaching this to the flute. So what I've done is I've taken the little microphone here and I've got a piece of Velcro, so I'm going to insert the close-up of me attaching the microphone onto the flute here. So essentially you wrap it around the head joint as tight as you can for the first like 2 loops. Then you put the microphone in there so that it's securely in there. It's not going to really fall out. You can kind of push it back in if you need to and hold it in place while you're attaching it. And then gently slide it down the neck of the flute to be about like an inch or so away from the mouthpiece, because you don't want it too close because you're going to hear all the wind noise. And if it's too far away, you're just not going to hear anything very well. You're just going to get all the background noise. And you don't really want the microphone actually touching the flute, which is why I have like about 1 millimeter of space between the microphone and the flute, so that it's not touching. You're not getting any like clinking sound when you're moving it, because it shouldn't really move at all if the wire moves. And when you slide it down the barrel, it's going to get tighter to where you initially go, because flute will expand a little bit from the top of the head joint down to the barrel. It's going to get a little bit fatter. So just that little extra bit of tension there is really going to help keep this in place from sliding all around. And you don't have to really worry about it scratching your flute either, because it's pretty soft and your flute's really smooth, so it's not like you're like grinding on it like a sander. And so you got the flute set up. Here's a close-up of the pack that I just clip onto my hip. I keep the microphone on one hip, and then I keep my in-ear pack, where is it? The in-ear pack on my other hip, because another issue with having two wireless systems in one is that there's going to be interference if you don't have them on different frequencies. So another thing you should research is once you get your equipment, understand the different frequencies that you need to set everything, so you don't get very bad feedback in your ears very, very loud. Because that's not good. It hurts, by the way. It's really loud. So I've been there, done that. And speaking of feedback, one of the things I noticed with the Sennheiser microphone and the Shure in-ears is that they got to be opposite sides. So, because there's going to be antennas. See how I have the Shure antenna on the outside here, so there was an extender that came with it to loop this around to the front of your unit. This does not have very good range. I found that when I had it in the back of the unit, I was just getting feedback and couldn't hear, and it sounded like white noise. It wasn't very good. When I moved it to the front, it works great. As long as you're in like really direct sight with it, it works out well. I know the more expensive in-ear systems don't have that much of a problem, but I'm on a budget. So this is what I got, and this is what I'm gonna live with. And then the Sennheiser has two antennas. So and those are only in the back. So I have those both in the back, and they're just angled outwards. But because I got these as far away as possible, it helps reduce a lot of the feedback that you're gonna get. Keeping the packs on either side, like as far away as you possibly can, depending on what you're wearing, that's also very advisable. Another thing is when you're using your in-ear system, I didn't get any custom in-ear molds, because I don't perform all that often to where I would feel it's justified spending the price on those. So when I use these in-ears, make sure you get the left and the right. Just as an example, put them in, and then I use surgical tape or medical tape. Well, in the reality, I actually use Scotch tape for my arena performance last year. I just put a piece of tape over them, because when I'm headbanging a lot, they're gonna fall out, my hair's gonna get caught. It won't be like this, actually. You don't really see it, but when you're moving around and you're headbanging a lot, it can come loose, and then you can't hear anything, and that's not a good situation. So I just use either like medical surgical tape or Scotch tape if you're gonna, be okay with taking it off and ripping your skin. Anyway, I just wanted to keep this video short. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And if you want to see any more talking how-to videos about how I set up everything or what my studio looks like, just let me know in the comments. Bye.